Dear brothers and sisters, let's face it, one of the hardest things we'll ever do is stay silent when someone disrespects us. It's almost instinctual to fight back, to defend ourselves, to make it clear that a line has been crossed. But here's the truth. Real strength isn't in shouting the loudest or hitting back the hardest. Real strength is in control. It's in choosing not to give others the reaction they're hoping for. When someone disrespects you, they're not just trying to belittle you, they're trying to provoke you. They want you to respond with anger, frustration, or even rage, because the moment you do, they have control over you. Now, before we dive into this powerful concept, I want to invite you to take a moment and reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever found yourself reacting impulsively, only to regret it later? Or maybe you've stayed silent, but felt the weight of misunderstanding pressed down on you. This video is about unlocking the power of restraint, not as a weakness, but as one of the strongest tools you can ever wield. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more content that challenges, inspires, and helps you grow. Now let's explore why restraint is your superpower. When someone disrespects you, their goal isn't just to offend, it's to see how far they can push you. They thrive on your reaction. Whether it's an outburst of anger or a defensive response, every emotional reaction you give them becomes their fuel. But staying quiet doesn't mean ignoring the disrespect. It means refusing to hand over your power. This is where the concept of restraint shines. Restraint isn't about letting others walk all over you. It's about staying grounded in your identity. It's about showing that your peace, your self-respect, and your decisions cannot be dictated by someone else's actions. It takes immense inner strength to remain composed when your ego is screaming for validation. But restraint isn't just an act of strength, it's an act of wisdom. In moments of disrespect, our natural reaction is to fight back. It's human nature. No one likes to feel belittled, and our ego tells us that we need to set the record straight. But here's the catch. Reacting impulsively often makes us lose sight of the bigger picture. We allow someone else to dictate our behavior, turning them into the puppet master of our emotions. By practicing restraint, we break free from those strings. Choosing not to respond impulsively doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're stepping back, assessing the situation, and choosing the response that aligns with your values and goals. Sometimes, the best response is no response at all. By staying calm and composed, you send a powerful message. You're not easily shaken, and your worth doesn't rely on anyone else's validation. In the end, restraint is more than just a skill. It's a form of self-respect. It allows you to maintain your integrity and stay true to who you are. So the next time someone disrespects you, ask yourself, will you hand over your power, or will you hold your ground? If you've made it this far, let me know in the comments how you've handled similar situations. And remember, true strength lies not in reacting, but in staying in control. Restraint is one of the most powerful tools you can master in life, especially in moments of provocation. Instead of feeding into negativity, staying calm allows you to maintain control of the situation. This disarms the person provoking you, often leaving them frustrated because they can no longer manipulate your emotions. True strength lies in self-control, not in aggression, but in the ability to remain composed and steady in the face of disrespect. However, practicing restraint takes effort. The natural response to provocation is often immediate and emotional. It's human instinct to defend oneself, but restraint demands that you pause, breathe, and think before you act. This skill doesn't develop overnight. It requires consistent self-awareness and intentional effort. You must learn to recognize the signs of anger, frustration, or hurt as they arise, both physically and mentally, and use that awareness to guide your actions toward a more constructive outcome. The benefits of restraint go beyond the moment. Reacting to every slight or negativity drains your energy and keeps you in a perpetual defensive state. When you rely on others' actions to dictate your emotions, you lose control over your inner peace. Practicing restraint, however, helps you take back that control. Over time, you build emotional resilience, enabling you to handle challenges with greater composure. Situations that once provoked you lose their power, and you find yourself feeling more centered and less reactive. Restraint is a key component of emotional intelligence. It demonstrates an awareness not only of your own emotions, but also of the emotions driving others. Often, those who lash out do so from a place of anger, insecurity, or frustration. By staying calm, you protect your own peace and avoid escalating the situation. Emotional intelligence allows you to see beyond the surface and recognize the deeper issues that might be motivating someone's behavior. This understanding fosters compassion, or at the very least, a decision not to add fuel to the fire. Self-control also impacts your reputation. People who react impulsively and lash out in anger are often seen as difficult or unreliable under pressure. In contrast, those who demonstrate poise and self-discipline are viewed as strong and dependable. They are the individuals others look to for leadership during challenging moments. Restraint in the face of disrespect earns respect, not just from the provocateur, but from everyone around who witnesses your composure. Ultimately, learning to control your reactions is about aligning your actions with your values rather than your immediate emotions. It's a sign of maturity, wisdom, and strength. The urge to react impulsively may be strong, but taking a moment to pause allows you to assess the situation and respond in a way that reflects your true character. The next time you're disrespected, ask yourself, will you let their actions dictate your emotions, or will you take control and choose restraint? This choice doesn't just protect your peace, it shapes how others perceive you and strengthens your ability to face life's challenges with grace and confidence. Reacting impulsively to disrespect is often driven by emotions like anger, frustration, or hurt, emotions that demand immediate release. However, reacting without thought risks escalating the situation, leading to regretful words, unnecessary conflict, or long-term damage. Quick, emotional responses are rooted in the heat of the moment, lacking perspective and consideration of the bigger picture. Emotional control, on the other hand, allows you to acknowledge your feelings without letting them dictate your actions. It's not about suppressing your emotions, it's about managing them. Taking even a few seconds to step back and think before responding can make all the difference. Ask yourself, what is the best way to handle this? Will this reaction serve me in the long run? When your actions align with your values rather than fleeting emotions, you maintain your integrity and composure. This distinction between reacting and responding is critical. A reaction is impulsive, raw, and often defensive, while a response is thoughtful, measured, and intentional. Choosing to respond instead of react doesn't mean you accept disrespect or remain passive. It means you actively decide how to engage, prioritizing your well-being and self-respect. When someone disrespects you, their goal is often to provoke a reaction. By lashing out emotionally, you hand them control over the interaction. But when you remain calm, breathe, and assess the situation, you reclaim that control. This shift in power is significant. Instead of being led by their behavior, you take charge, setting the tone for the conversation and ensuring it unfolds on your terms. One of the most valuable benefits of controlling your reaction is the prevention of unnecessary conflict. Disrespect can quickly escalate into heated arguments or damaging confrontations if both parties react emotionally. By staying calm, you signal that you're not interested in confrontation. This de-escalation protects your peace of mind and prevents harm to your relationships or reputation. Exercising restraint and self-control in difficult situations sends a powerful message. It shows maturity, strength, and the ability to handle challenges without being ruled by emotions. This doesn't mean you're indifferent. it means you value thoughtful responses over impulsive ones. In both professional and personal settings, this kind of composure earns respect and trust. People take notice of those who remain calm under pressure and often look up to them as leaders. Conversely, those who frequently react impulsively may be seen as volatile or unreliable. Another significant benefit of managing your reactions is the ability to focus on what truly matters. Disrespect, while painful, is often a distraction from larger goals. When you give in to emotional reactions, you lose sight of the bigger picture and waste energy on something that doesn't serve your long-term interests. By choosing restraint, you conserve your energy for what's important, ensuring that a moment of disrespect doesn't derail your progress or pull you off course. In environments like the workplace, where professionalism is key, controlling your reactions is even more crucial. Emotional outbursts can be mentally and emotionally draining, leaving you feeling depleted and often regretful. But when you control your responses, you preserve your energy, maintain focus, and prioritize your goals. Ultimately, mastering your emotions isn't just a skill, it's a strength that empowers you to navigate life with confidence, maturity, and purpose. When faced with disrespect, the choice is yours. Will you let it control you, or will you rise above it and maintain your peace? Building emotional resilience takes time, but it's a skill that allows you to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and clarity. Controlling your reactions doesn't mean you ignore disrespect. It means you decide when and how to respond in a way that aligns with your values and goals. Sometimes the most powerful response is silence. Other times it's a calm, assertive conversation where you set clear boundaries. The key is maintaining control, ensuring that your response is a conscious choice rather than an emotional reaction dictated by someone else's behavior. Self-respect is the foundation of how you respond to the world, especially in the face of disrespect. When someone disrespects you, it can feel like a personal attack on your worth or dignity. The natural reaction is to defend yourself or retaliate. But true self-respect means understanding that your value isn't determined by another person's behavior. It's about recognizing that how you respond speaks volumes about your character, far more than the disrespect itself. Respecting yourself doesn't mean allowing others to walk all over you. It means refusing to be dragged into negativity or destructive behavior that compromises your sense of self-worth. Your value is inherent. It cannot be diminished by someone else's words or actions. Disrespect may sting, but it does not define you. Instead, it often reveals more about the person delivering it than the one receiving it. People who disrespect others are often projecting their own insecurities, frustrations, or pain. Once you internalize this truth, it becomes easier to stay grounded and not let their negativity affect your self-worth. Self-respect also involves knowing when to walk away. Choosing silence after being disrespected isn't a sign of submission. It's a declaration of self-preservation. You are prioritizing your energy and peace of mind over engaging in a battle that serves no purpose. Silence in these moments sends a powerful message. I value myself too much to waste time on someone who doesn't see my worth. It demonstrates that you know who you are and refuse to lower yourself to their level. Setting boundaries is a critical aspect of self-respect. Disrespect often crosses those boundaries, and while it's important to assert them, it doesn't always require confrontation. Walking away from a toxic exchange can be one of the most effective ways to reinforce your boundaries. This choice doesn't mean accepting mistreatment. It means refusing to let someone else's behavior dictate your emotional state. It's about choosing not to let their negativity become your own. Managing your emotions is another cornerstone of self-respect. When disrespected, it's natural to feel anger, hurt, or defensiveness. But self-respect allows you to pause, take a breath, and evaluate the situation calmly. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will reacting improve the situation, or will it pull me into negativity? More often than not, reacting impulsively leads to regretful words, unnecessary conflict, and emotional exhaustion. Self-respect isn't just about setting boundaries with others. It's about setting boundaries with yourself. It's about choosing to rise above, to stay focused on your goals, and to preserve your peace. In moments of disrespect, remind yourself, your worth is not up for debate, and your energy is too valuable to waste on negativity. Self-respect is about knowing when to act and when to let go. Not every insult or slight deserves your attention, and maintaining your composure often serves you better in the long run. Choosing your battles is a hallmark of maturity and self-control. It allows you to focus your energy on situations that align with your values and goals, rather than being sidetracked by minor conflicts. By respecting yourself, you gain clarity about what truly matters, filtering out distractions and preserving your energy for meaningful pursuits. Disrespect can be a powerful distraction, pulling you into unnecessary conflict that drains your mental and emotional resources. Self-respect acts as a filter, helping you determine which situations warrant a response and which are best ignored. This doesn't mean avoiding conflict altogether. It means approaching situations with intention and wisdom. Sometimes a direct response is necessary to set boundaries, but not every provocation deserves your engagement. Respecting yourself also involves practicing forgiveness, not necessarily for those who disrespect you, but for yourself. It's easy to dwell on past encounters, replaying them in your mind and wishing you'd responded differently. However, self-respect means letting go of these thoughts, giving yourself grace, and recognizing that no one handles every situation perfectly. What matters most is maintaining your dignity and moving forward with integrity. Forgiveness is not about condoning bad behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the mental burden of replaying negative moments. Resilience is another critical aspect of self-respect. Disrespect is an inevitable part of life, but instead of letting it break you down, it can serve as a reminder of your inner strength. Each instance of disrespect is an opportunity to reaffirm your values, stay calm under pressure, and respond in a way that reflects your character. Over time, this resilience builds emotional fortitude, making it easier to navigate future challenges with grace and composure. When you respect yourself, others take notice. Self-respect is contagious. It sets a standard for how you expect to be treated. People who carry themselves with dignity and self-assurance often command respect from those around them. By refusing to engage with negativity or tolerate disrespect, you show others how to treat you. This approach leads to healthier and more respectful relationships, as it establishes clear boundaries and expectations. Maintaining self-respect is also essential for your long-term well-being. Reacting to every slight puts you in a perpetual state of defense, making your peace of mind dependent on external factors. Self-respect involves creating emotional boundaries that protect your mental health. It's about recognizing that your well-being is your responsibility and refusing to let others' actions dictate your emotional state. Choosing your battles is one of the most valuable skills you can cultivate. Engaging with every provocation is exhausting and detracts from your larger goals. When you learn to discern what's worth addressing and what's better left alone, you can conserve your energy for what truly matters. In life, you'll encounter people who test your patience or disrespect you, intentionally or unintentionally. If you were to respond to every moment, you'd find yourself stuck in a cycle of frustration and defensiveness. By choosing your battles wisely, you preserve your focus and energy for positive interactions and personal growth. This doesn't mean avoiding conflict out of fear, but rather approaching it with discernment, ensuring that your responses serve your long-term goals rather than momentary emotions. Ultimately, self-respect is about staying aligned with your values, protecting your peace, and refusing to let negativity pull you off course. Choosing your battles is not about fear or passivity. It's about wisdom and self-respect. Not every disrespectful comment or action deserves your energy. Some people provoke purely to draw you into their negativity. By walking away or staying quiet, you send a powerful message. Your peace of mind is more valuable than engaging in pointless arguments. This choice reflects maturity and an understanding that some battles are simply not worth fighting. One of the key factors in deciding whether to engage is assessing the significance of the situation. Disrespect can range from a careless remark to a direct personal attack. In each case, ask yourself, does this really matter? Will responding improve the situation, or will it escalate the conflict? Often, reacting impulsively only prolongs negativity. By staying composed, you conserve your energy for challenges and relationships that truly deserve your attention. Understanding the intention behind the disrespect is equally important. Many times, people act out of frustration, pain, or insecurity. Their behavior often reflects their internal struggles rather than a deliberate attempt to harm you. Responding with anger or retaliation in such cases may only worsen the situation. When you pause to assess the motive behind their actions, you gain perspective. This helps you decide whether the issue is worth addressing or better left alone. Choosing your battles requires emotional intelligence and self-awareness. It takes strength to recognize when your emotions are being triggered, and even more to pause before reacting. Emotional intelligence allows you to look beyond the immediate insult and consider the long-term consequences of your actions. It helps you evaluate whether engaging will lead to a positive outcome or merely fuel more conflict. In many instances, you'll find that staying quiet or walking away prevents escalation and protects your peace. There's also a practical aspect to this approach. Engaging in every conflict drains your emotional and mental energy. You only have so much to expend each day, and wasting it on trivial matters leaves you depleted when faced with more important challenges. By carefully choosing your battles, you ensure that your focus and energy are reserved for what truly matters: your work, your relationships, and your personal growth. In any relationship, whether professional or personal, there will be moments of tension and disagreement. Disrespect often stems from misunderstandings or differing perspectives. Responding to every slight risks damaging the relationship over minor issues. Choosing your battles, however, shows that you value the relationship enough to let go of trivial conflicts and focus on the bigger picture. This approach fosters healthier and more resilient connections by avoiding unnecessary friction. That said, choosing your battles doesn't mean ignoring disrespect entirely. There are times when it's necessary to stand up for yourself and assert your boundaries, especially if the disrespect is repetitive, harmful, or undermines your well-being. The key is knowing when to act and ensuring that your response aligns with your values and long-term goals. Protecting your self-worth sometimes requires speaking up and setting boundaries. In these moments, it's essential to remain calm and clear, addressing the issue constructively rather than reacting impulsively. However, it's also important to recognize that some people thrive on conflict and will never change, no matter how much effort you put into engaging with them. For individuals who are perpetually disrespectful, walking away becomes the most powerful response. It shows that you value your energy and peace of mind over engaging in meaningless conflict. Choosing your battles is about focusing on what truly matters: your personal growth, emotional well-being, and long-term goals. By deciding where to invest your energy, you rise above negativity, maintain control over your reactions, and demonstrate strength and maturity. This approach allows you to preserve your peace and ensure that your actions reflect the best version of yourself.